Text her and see if she's coming or if she's zooming. Mm-hmm.
I heard like somebody walking, but
Oh, yeah.
then when I heard the whistle, I.
Mm.
I was kind of waiting for somebody to walk in, but then. Yeah, the whistle walking by.
Footsteps. There she is. I guess she is coming.
Sorry.
I just texted you to see if you were zooming or if you were coming.
Across the street.
Oh,
A judge. That's your.
This is the warmest coat
That's
I
good.
have in the wintertime. because
Well,
it
that's
covers
what
my
you want
legs.
to wear.
Yes, yeah.
Something more for sure.
So I was at the city meeting across the street.
oh,
So,
over city council.
Yeah. and,
Anything important going on?
Yes, I was asking them if they were, because I had sent the pictures of, they have the cones out there for the red part where we have no parking up, and I was just asking if do they plan to help us plow that so that the bus can actually utilize. And so what they asked me to do was to see if we can just ask our snow plow guy to plow it for us. I bet he would do that. Especially because they're coming in the afternoon, you know, so basically if it's gonna snow like this, I mean, I'm not either gonna shovel my way out or I'm just stuck at home. Because we're not a priority to them, which,
Well.
Who's the city?
yeah,
The city? Yeah.
they came right before you got home. They were there at 4 o'clock. So
Do you want them to come earlier? Because then sometimes they have to do it twice.
No, you mean the city, right? Or our guys?
our guys,
Oh,
and we don't want them to come twice.
no, we don't look for twice.
I know they're busy and I know they're doing it all day.
But he was.
So-
come early.
It's also, there's no point doing it until it stops snowing.
That's what, and so like, usually like this last time that we had this big snow, he came in the afternoon, like today, on the first day, and then tomorrow he may come earlier. And that's what he did before.
Yeah.
He said he always tries to get there at like 9 or, you know, if he can.
Well, let's call this to get,
Okay.
since we're talking business, we call this meeting in of the Eastgate Homeowners Association, February 22nd, 2023 to order. All right, this should be a quick and easy one. Trash, got the signs up on the dumpsters, got the cameras up. Caught Shane throwing trash in the dumpster yesterday. But yeah, hopefully we don't have any more problems with that. I still have not received this month's trash bill. So,
No, I gave it to you. I took a picture of it and emailed it to you.
oh, that's right. I did. It's the snow removal bill I haven't received. Yeah, sorry. I did pay. I already paid that one.
Is that all seasons?
Yeah,
Okay, so that one's right here.
okay. So when we get to bill paying, I need all these coming to me. Because I pay them right away and just, yeah.
Change the ad. I don't know why, but they just started sending them directly to mine. And I didn't ask them to.
Okay, well,
I told them there's.
if
a
I'm gonna
website.
pay them, I need to get them, so.
HOA website has the HOA address on it. It doesn't say unit 2.
Yeah.
But
So
that's okay.
as for snow removal, yeah, we don't want them plowing
So-
twice if we can avoid it. So if he puts it off till after it stops snowing, I'm
Well, and
good
even,
with that.
because I kind of had mentioned that, you know, we have a budget that we're trying to.
It seems it's high right now.
Yeah, well, we had that one snowstorm. I think he had to come.
So if he came, if, you know, by saying we're not a priority, we can be a priority, but then
Give me
he'll
more.
plow it in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, he does my work too, but I usually have him, like, I had him come twice today.
Yeah, see,
Because
so
we
there
have people walking, so we just need to decide, because we're trying to stay,
Well, I'll tell you, because of that last snowstorm,
eh,
he had to come 3 times.
oh, yeah,
And he didn't charge us for 3 times. He charged us for one.
well, that's
They're
nice.
really
So-
nice, too. They do a great job, and sometimes they get part of our driveways and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I shovel mine anyway, but you know, if it's coming down so fast, and there's other people who, my neighbor, he goes to work at 5 in. And then it starts dumping, or maybe it's dumping before he leaves, but he comes home at 1 o'clock and there's 8 inches of snow. He's not complaining or anything. We try to help him, we try to shovel, but I'm shoveling a lot. I know that. I'm trying to get this gut down. So
Well, but also it's not his responsibility to do our driveways. If he does that, that's nice, but it's not.
point
Yeah.
is that it's good, we're gonna pay somebody to do this. If we're paying somebody and they're stopping their truck and they're helping our neighbor who has a cane, helping him get to and from the mailbox so he doesn't slip.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I know.
People I want.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
He'll take a pass right there at that sidewalk. I mean, I went and jumped in the truck with him to move some piles around in my parking lot. And they're super accommodating, whatever you want, and.
Yeah.
it wasn't-
I've got to talk to Lee again because he's parked again right where we need to put the snow. So I talked to him once and he said he had no problem moving when it snows, but yeah, but he was parked there this morning and I'm going, oh, no wonder that snow's all pushed up in the corner. This is interesting. He sent us a sheet that talks about how we're at 199% of our normal snow.
They're gonna get it.
So,
Complaints from a lot of people is, the bill's more than what they expected. It's
Yeah.
not just us, it's just, we're getting a winter that we haven't had for 15 years.
so fortunately, I talked to one of our city council members. A little ex parte conversation. And he informs me that we are probably not getting charged the right amount for water. Based on how much we use and the type of PUD we are, we might be at a lower rate. So he's looking into that for us right now. And we might not, but if that happens, that may offset our more than average snow
Yeah.
in our budget. If not, we can adjust the budget. That would just take a vote from the board to, well, that's actually under new business down there, but,
When we go to city council meetings, we're talking about impact fees and all kinds of stuff going on right now, so.
yeah,
They're approving it and they're gonna maximize it, and nobody's in there saying not to,
well, that doesn't affect us because that's at building.
they have to do
We're
it,
beyond that. So we're 30 years beyond that.
yeah.
So CC and our maintenance, I got an email from Ashley asking if we would fix her downspout.
Yeah.
And I responded to her, that's not our responsibility. Anything on the housing unit is the responsibility of the owner. I did go over and look at it. And I told her if they still have the downspout, it's just a couple screws to attach it to, and I can do that as a neighbor, but not as the HOA. So anybody who wants anything done on their house, read the CC&Rs, it is not our responsibility, it's the homeowner's responsibility. Accounting processes, I wanted to show you real quick, come over here, because Jen just paid on GoDaddy.
Okay,
So when that happens, oh, I had it open. Where did
Cause
it go?
there's like a back page to it that you have to access because.
Well, but I can
That's
show
much
you
more.
that, but
Yeah.
what I want you to see is how we mark that as paid in the Waves app.
No, I may need some help fixing.
So
I
you
think it
go
was Ashley
into,
that paid a whole bunch of them too, cause she was.
she did, I
behind.
already got them.
Okay,
So you go under sales and payments,
Yep.
invoices. You find the overdue invoices, here's her. You go to the arrow, record payment,
oh,
and then you put it into the credit card, and then until it's in our account, I put it in deposits in transit. Submit, and it's done.
okay.
She now
And then
has no
Once
longer an
you
invoice.
put it into the account, then we still have to come back in here.
So you still have to come back in here once GoDaddy puts it into our checking account and delete that deposit. Otherwise, we have that payment in our account twice.
Yeah,
So anytime the bank deposits, they get deleted.
that's why I was trying to find out how to tie the bank account directly here so we.
Well,
can
it
get-
is, and that's the problem. So if you go under our accounting,
And I
look at
wasn't
the
able to
transactions.
actually contact Wave either.
no, they're impossible.
They're
They're
impossible
horrible.
to contact. Okay, good.
But so
I did try.
when you look at this, our any transaction that gets put into our bank is this. And so you'll see Jennifer's, which I just marked as paid, it's
Mhm.
actually gonna be 150.16. But once it hits our account, it'll automatically show up in this,
Mhm.
and then you just click that. And that, let's say this is the deposit, and you hit merge. And it just, whoop.
Oh.
But if
okay.
if sometimes it'll batch do them,
Okay.
so there'll be, $450 worth of deposits,
Mhm.
and it won't let you merge those all together.
So it
So you
won't
just
tell you what-
delete
yeah,
that
because-
one,
Yeah, okay.
and because you've
Yeah.
already marked their invoice as paid.
Because it'll just go in as a deposit if you put in 6 checks at one time or
Right.
whatever, it's not gonna itemize it. That's why. Honestly, it's easier for me to just use the bank account as a ledger than having, but I do like the invoicing. I do like that it's already set up that you just. But I don't know, I have a group email set up and then I just click that. But when you have to individually send out 25 invoices and.
Yeah,
it's
well,
the
this
other
just,
one,
it's
so it
just,
is nice.
it's just matching the
just-
payment to the invoice is all it
Okay,
is.
All right.
So you've got your financial reports in front of you. We're doing a lot better than we were in September. But somebody was joining us. Nobody's joined us on the Zoom yet. Really, our only expenses are the water, snow removal right now, trash.
Our
And-
bill was cheap too. this last one.
Yeah, cheap
Well-
compared to what we have been paying.
Yeah, because I got it caught up and didn't have a chance to call him, but I wanted. When I asked you, when I got the bill, I said, do you want me to pay it or what do you want me to do? And you said, give it to me and then you paid it. But I would like to still try to call them and ask them about that one late fee that we got. Cause you don't get anything if you don't ask. And I
Knock
don't
yourself
care if it's
out. I mean, you're
20
welcome to do that. I think it was 59 bucks. So the only other expense we had was the signs and the cameras. Other than our normal expenses.
Which look great, and I can't believe how easy it is. So,
Oh, yeah, those cameras are so simple. If you look at our. Yeah, explain something to me. That was, back page, right? No, did I not print it?
so with the snow removal, can I ask them if they will lay that?
Yeah, you can, but not if it's gonna cost extra.
No,
I don't think it will, but I can ask them.
I don't think.
I talked to them
And, it
Huh.
would be,
For some reason, the overdue payments is not here.
are the homes still in the road?
Yeah.
So
They'll be there until it's warm enough for them to paint.
could we put them on the curb? So that while we're pushing snow?
I don't
So
know, the
you guys-
Chase's, apparently Chase's residents are retarded. And so he can tell them not to do something and they're still gonna do it.
they're kids.
Well,
This is why we have
It's
signs.
posted
there.
now and it has a sign.
Yeah.
So
We can,
the only reason I say.
I'll
that is
tow
just
him,
so
though.
He doesn't have to get out, move the cones and then get out and put it back.
if they park there, I will tow them.
I just been trying, okay, so.
They'll
I'm-
learn one way or another.
I'm shoveling out, okay, I have to get through my backyard to the gate. And I'm just using, I'll make a path so we can walk through there and then I can open the gate. Cause we put a ramp in and all that stuff and then we can get up onto the sidewalk and I do the sidewalk and I get over here to the driveway. Cause a lot of times they just shovel and there'll be like a big thing there. I just need a place where we can walk down this place where, and if the bus came, cause now I have the bus wanting to bring his wheelchair, right? The wheelchair lift has to be able to come down somewhere. And the bus needs to be able to be somewhere where they can put it down and he can get on there without.
Call him and then when.
Just ask him.
There,
Yeah.
and go out and explain it to him.
Well, I'll just ask him. And I have pictures and I went to the city and I asked him, I said, do you guys typically, do you plow things, that are marked on the red curb? And they said, well, if you you have an HOA, go to your HOA and ask them. I said, well, I'm in fact part of the HOA board and going to the meeting and I will bring it up. So I will ask our snow guy to do it. But if it's gonna cost extra, then.
Well, I
I'm
think
not
it's-
issue about it.
I honestly think he would just do it for us,
He will too.
but
We just have
I
to
think we need to
communicate.
make it a little bit, you know, if we just put those right on the edge of the curb instead of in the road, then,
We're not gonna have snow all year long.
We're
It's
not.
just right now.
right.
But
But
when
if we
we
just
do,
put it up so that we can hit that without having to move it, you know,
Yeah.
it's no.
we don't wanna do
I don't think it's
anything.
gonna be a
I'll go
problem
out and do
again.
the cones, but I never know when he's coming to shovel it. It's just a little too
Maybe
much
just
for
on
me
snow days,
to
like
shovel
when we
it.
know there's snow coming, let's just move them onto the curb and
Yeah.
then we can move them back down.
And there are
after.
no parking signs there.
Yeah.
And they know they're not supposed to, but, when those were the beehive homes, and because James has medical issues, the city has told me that they typically do medical stuff first. And they do not have a plan necessarily in place, but the city manager did come to me at the end of the meeting, which is why I was a little bit late getting here, and he said that, you know, if we have any issues with our HOA not, or our snow removal people not doing it or whatever, that the city would put something, they need to have something in place anyway. When you have red curbs painted somewhere, you should know where they are at. And you would think that it would be for a bus or for a medical reason, and that those areas would need to be plowed first, but then, I don't know. I just come to ask questions and let things work out the way that they will.
Okay,
So-
well, you're free to ask him and.
Okay.
So I don't know why it didn't print in the financial report because I started to print it out, but I've got the aged receivables here. So Ashley had not paid for 2 months and.
Yeah.
I have to go to the bank multiple times for multiple deposits. And so what we're starting to do now is after somebody hits 60 days, they're getting a $30 late fee. And she was
3 months.
3 months overdue, so she got a $60 late fee and she still hasn't paid that. You're on here for some reason, so we've
We
got to
need to
figure
fix it,
out,
yeah.
you can't just deposit money without linking it to that payment to your invoices. I've got to do that,
I know.
okay? You're paid today, so that's fine.
I thought I went in there and did it, but I must not have did something right.
I'm trying to figure out why Margene Allen is on here for 91 days.
So I haven't seen any of the checks. that
Yeah,
are
well,
deposited.
I think that's that batch that you deposited without
There was.
recording, and I don't know if she paid or not. Yeah, but she wasn't in there, and you said you think she was though,
I'll have to look at the picture, see,
so.
'cause there were several. checks there.
Pete has not paid this month, and then the Bowers had a $30 late fee as well.
He'll be up here soon. He's coming up on work 6, so
Okay.
be here for the weekend.
Is Stacy still with him?
She'll be driving him up here. They want me to go look at houses and things. And I think they always say they want to buy stuff, but you know,
Well,
he wants to sell this place first, and that house has a lot of settling issues, so it's not gonna be worth what it'll appraise.
oh, no, I'm sorry, Margene Allen is $150 credit.
They're usually
It's a
pretty-
negative 150. Okay,
So
that's, yeah, she's got $150 credit. All
they're
right,
in a rental there. They don't live in it, so, and it comes from a business account.
okay. Well, just so long as we can let him know that he's overdue. So we've got $390. And once we take Cynthia's out, if we ever get that fixed and then take yours out, we're $90 of unpaid. And that's just late fees then. So,
So it's after 60 days, there's a $30 thing.
Yep.
And is that, have we
we,
notified?
no, we're doing it because what happens is if they don't get paid, then I end up having to go to the bank multiple times. I have to go back into waves multiple times. I have to do the accounting multiple times. It's like, I don't really care about the money. I care about the incentive to get us a check, and so we can do that all at once. Almost everybody's really good about it. It just, I still wish we could get the auto pay set up, but I ended up spending 3 hours trying to get through to waves and could not with their chat function. They kept logging me out and, yeah, so
Anybody else that's overdue?
we'd have to totally change our accounting software at that point.
It's a free app and it has some really great things.
It's a free app and it's a really great things, and it is a major pain in the butt to switch from one to another.
They're all paying.
No, to switch is like a massive, I had the accountant do it all last time. Because it was, it's just like QuickBooks, just like QuickBooks.
But I don't even know QuickBooks all that well.
That's,
So
yeah,
I'm not gonna claim to do something I don't know. I was very good in accounting, debits and credits, and there's 25 units, and, the only thing that's nice about any type of program that holds data for you is invoicing. The tedious.
oh no, there's, being the one who uses it, there's a lot more that the reporting is phenomenal. The report, I mean, I just generate these reports like that. So if we keep the numbers right. So,
Right, yeah, and the way to get the numbers right is a little funky because it's not tied in directly.
it is absolutely 100% directly tied into our banking account. I keep telling you that. Our banking account and our Waves account are linked together. When there's a transaction posted to the bank account, it pops up in our transaction on Waves. It's not a manually put in thing. What we need to do is take out the duplications or merge the duplications, but they are 100% linked together.
Okay,
So what is not linked in is our payment portal, which is through GoDaddy. But when they post, they go right to our bank account, then they show up. in there.
that's what I mean
So,
when I say linked. I would
Yeah.
like people to be able to make a deposit directly into our bank account, and we should be able to do that.
they can do that if they use Zelle,
They can do that on Wave, but we need to.
if we get the payment set up.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it would make things a whole lot easier.
Well, I agree, but I spent 3 hours trying to get through to them.
Just really, you're wrapping your brain, and it's not just me.
Oh, yeah.
I did try.
Well, so the feature that I really want, I don't care. I'm happy with the GoDaddy payments. They're cheaper. But the feature that it does not give us is auto pay. And I spent about an hour on GoDaddy's website trying to find some way to do auto pay, and it's not a service they offer.
We offered it was they wanted us just to put our bank account, our checking account information into the, and we have to tell them, and now we're nonprofit.
Well, yeah, so the problem is this, did all that. And they say, hey, we're not exactly sure what kind of charity you are. We're not a charity. We're a
Right.
501c6 or 501c4. We're gonna send you an email to give us more information. And the email
And
never
we never
came.
got the email.
And so you
Yeah.
go in and go, hey, I never got the email. And they say, oh, we'll chat with you. Waiting, disconnected, waiting, disconnected, waiting. I spent 3 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, you can do did you not say that? You can go through your bank? and
You
do
can go
an
through your
automatic
bank and
deposit?
automatically set it up to send us a check. We have 5 ways to pay.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 people who want the 6th way. And we have tried everything we can to get the 6th way. We can't do it without spending a lot of money that we're not willing to spend.
Control.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I could feel like.
We could do it. It would cost us a lot of money. I'm just not willing to spend that money.
Right.
We need,
I don't think it's
we need
necessary.
asphalt. I'm pinching pennies.
Direct Deposit through your bank, you can.
Yeah.
Get online, pay.
Credit card, you can do a direct transfer. You can drop cash or a check in my black box.
That's happening, that's the tedious, but we do a small town, and you do bank there yourself, so you're gonna be going there anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I just doing it 5-6 times because I'm getting payments 60 days late. That starts to bother me. All right, Vice President's report. Anything?
Just my only. Thing is the new business, do we want him to come multiple times? But I think we both all stated that let's get it cleaned out.
Yeah.
He is cleaning us back up after he's.
Yeah, the fact that he's coming back through again, I really appreciate that.
And they do extra things that are nice.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. If I wanna get I shovel my driveway.
Yeah, I just-
Shoveling.
I don't
You
think,
know,
we didn't
but-
budget for, we're at 199% of snowfall for,
Yes.
and it's only February. We still have May. Yeah,
Well, here's the thing, it's not like we could have expected this to happen. And if we did, we would have budgeted for it, so the budget might be off. But everybody sees the snow and everybody's living in it, so the
Yeah.
truth of the matter
In
is
the-
what
in-
it is, so.
at the, well, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Secretary Treasurer's report. Anything?
Nope.
Okay, now we can get into new business. So one thing about the snow removal budget, we kind of based it off of an estimate of how much snow we were gonna get. But at the end of the day, we are still, with our current budget, we're still putting $7,000 excess to our budget, to our expenses. So if we have to raise our budget, it's gonna come off of that excess anyway. It just means we'll put less, $4,000 or $5,000
But
excess.
then we also have an expense coming up for insurance, it's
We
gonna
do,
be around $6,000.
yes, we do.
By the way, we have new tenants who are insurance agents, and one of them is a commercial insurance agent. I said, write us a bid.
For who?
So I think it is, so.
Oh.
Corolla has
No.
one. You know, it's worth a bid.
No, no. No, not spending money with Progressive.
Except a bit, but not.
Yeah,
You know.
not spending money with Progressive, not a chance. So yeah, the late fees, that's what that's all about. So you wanted to talk about stone approval?
I just, at our last meeting, we were talking to Chase and he agreed to re-landscape his front yard in order to save water for the HOA in lieu of him having to pay for extra share of HOA dues. And so I just wanted to, I wanted to motion that when he does the landscaping, that he gets the rocks that he picks out approved by the board before.
Why?
Because whatever he puts in is an architectural issue that matches the rest of. the
None of our rocks
properties.
match. None of the rocks in our area
And his
match.
house doesn't match the rest of them.
True. I mean, Pete's got different rocks. Every place that has rocks has different rocks. And so I'm kind of going, why do we care? Why do we need to? That's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be telling people what they can and can't do with their house.
But we do live in a community that has an HOA.
And if all the rocks matched already, then we could
They used
demand,
to. But
Not-
this hasn't been used.
not since I've lived there, and I've lived there for 14 years. They put rocks in my front yard.
Skirts of-
Yeah, but you can't see Pete's rocks. They're under that bush that's gonna come out this
Yeah, I don't
spring.
know what his rocks
They're
are.
these little red and white sharp things, and
Your rocks are the same as which ones?
the ones along the
Original
sidewalk
ones that
outside.
were there, that were, I mean, everything used to match. Everything used to match.
Everything used to be grass. They ripped up a
Oh,
lot of
front
the
yard for
grass. Yeah,
grass?
they
Yeah.
ripped up a lot of the
And then they-
grass.
Like lava rock. Under on mine for a while, and then they put some fabric on and dumped something else on,
Yeah,
but it didn't match.
Yeah,
nothing,
that's it.
nothing
It's-
matches.
Because as an HOA issue, typically speaking, especially in the front yards, if the HOA is managing it, there's supposed to be an architectural board and they're supposed to approve things and, I mean, when you paint the buildings. you
Chase is the architectural board.
I know. Person who never comes to meetings and that type of thing, but the architectural board, whatever they do, is supposed to be approved by the board, so I was just bringing it up. that it
Yeah,
needs
I
to
mean,
go.
I just don't see any reason to, because we already don't have matching rocks. It's just. I think that's getting into that petty tyrant stuff. If we had matching rocks everywhere, then we could demand that he match. Otherwise, I don't want to have a say. It's his yard. We don't all
He's got
match.
more earthy tones at his two homes, and ours are more gray.
Gray
And so
and that ugly
If he-
baby blue.
if he had
That's what broke up the HOA in my understanding, is people were fighting over colors of paint, stuff like that, so.
See,
I don't wanna go there, but at the same time, like, I started epoxying my garage floor. And it came halfway out, and I would like to do the rest of my driveway of the same color. I don't wanna have to redo everything. And I know I showed it to you and you said, nope, I don't like this color. I would like it to be gray. And I was like,
no, it's not what I said.
I like to have my driveway.
I said, if you're going to paint your driveway, it should be the same driveway color as all the other driveways.
And nobody else has any, so it would just be, does anybody have an issue with this?
Yeah.
And if
I
they
mean,
don't,
it's-
then fine. But I don't.
Bring it
want-
up and we'll have a
the
vote
less-
on it. You just asked my opinion and I gave it to you.
Yeah, well, I just don't want to do things, where somebody finds me without asking for permission. I was asking for permission before we got things organized.
Yeah, but that's in the
and I
past.
wasn't getting that. Yeah, well,
We're
I
talking
try to
about,
learn from my past and I'm trying to do things the right way, so I just wanna bring it up because when the weather breaks and it's above 60 degrees and I would like to put the rest of my epoxy down on my driveway, I wanna make sure that it's okay to do it. I don't want somebody else coming along saying, you didn't get that approved, and because what happens if one person does it, then everybody can do it. I'm okay with that. That's how it is in an.
nobody
HOA,
has
but-
an epoxy driveway. Everybody has rocks and none of them match. So
Thank you. So that's what it is. And it's fine with me, but
it has been, it was done long time. I mean, my rocks were put in without my permission. Nobody asked me.
Right.
They just ripped up my lawn and did it. Tore down my cherry tree. I was ticked. And ripped up all my sprinklers to my backyard because they came from the front to the back. So everything in my backyard died.
you've been there a long time. You're there 14 years.
And my rocks
I don't
don't
know.
match anybody else's rocks. So
There's other houses that also have different color rocks and things too. So I just wanted to discuss it and make sure that.
one thing we might look at doing, I want to get Rocky Ridge to come out. Since we already have a relationship with them and get a bid on tearing up all the grass and putting rock down. And if we do that, then perhaps we can coordinate with Chase to match the same or get the same rock or
It would be nice.
I don't know that they do the removal.
they don't, but they
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 can
give
price
us a
it.
price on how many yards it's gonna be and yeah, we'd have to have probably Jason do the
Yeah.
removal.
Bid that was given to us before when Debbie was managing, they were talking about taking out the grass that's up there at the trash in the middle over by your house. At the
On that
top
hill?
of that hill, there's a patch of grass that's really just not used. And they wanted to charge like $4,500 to take that out and put in. So here's the thing. We've got
Rock's
plastic.
cheap.
I have plastic and I'll just put plastic over the top of it. We kill the grass, we turn the water off, and all we have to do is pay for the rock. And then the rock comes in and then we're over with.
Rock is
It's
cheap.
not $4,500. You're looking at a couple $100. maybe
There's been
$400.
issues with doing plastic over grass and weeds. What happens is the weeds, the root system will grow down in and get around pipes
Oh.
and
Okay.
electrical wires. Yeah, the fabric's better, but even with the fabric, you still got to do a herbicide or something to kill
It's
it off.
a better way to do it.
But I think we'd better off letting Jason do that.
Well,
Because
we
that's his
already-
business and
Like
Yeah.
that tree over by the mailbox and.
that's the other thing.
They could be going. Oh, it's
We
gonna
need
be
to talk
hell.
about getting that tree removed.
That's gonna be expensive.
It,
They're not gonna be able to take out the roots, but they can take the tree down. But
if they kill the roots, then they'll start to decay and they're not growing
the
anymore.
tree is splitting and falling and Lee,
Yeah.
poor Lee is out there every year with the storms that break down and things and just.
There's a ratchet strap grown into the tree where somebody had tried to ratchet.
Actually, Jason did that a long.
Did
time
he?
ago because there were kids that were playing on it and he went to go at, approach the HOA then to say, hey, you've got a problem that needs to be taken care of. But this is gonna hurt some child. So he put the ratchet strap on and said, this needs to be, addressed. And the.
Well, that must have been a long time ago because it's grown into the tree. So, but I'd like to get somebody out in the spring to at least give us a bid on removing that tree and seeing if they can poison any of the root system. because it's starting to heave that asphalt really bad, and it's heading right toward a patch repair where I'm guessing there's plumbing
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there is.
and
There's a lot of plumbing out in that lawn.
yeah, and it might be pushing right over to that main water inlet. So by killing that, we at least stop any future growth.
So the only other part that has grass is just the outside of the complex with the south.
On the south
south
side
Other
and
than
by
that,
the
we keep
mailboxes.
Park, I think.
Yeah, no,
keep
we
that
keep the
grass,
park.
right?
Yeah, we're,
So we still have a place because
in fact, I think our development agreement with the city back 30 years ago required us to have the park.
so at this, it's been a couple weeks ago, but city meeting, there's people looking to have like a dog park type thing.
Donate it to them as a dog park.
I'm not saying donate, I'm saying to her.
Well,
That's what we do.
I don't even want to know what the insurance liability would be if somebody got bit on that. I think let the city donate property. I don't want to take on that insurance liability, man. That people are so sue crazy anymore.
They are.
It's just stupid.
Well, if the way I look at it is like this, insurance policy is just an expense for doing business. So you just add that in and you charge it as a part of your lease. And then whoever's using it is the ones that are paying for it. They can pay.
The other thing we're gonna run into with that is then we get a whole bunch of people who don't live in our community,
True.
That's
true.
and parking in our community. And yeah, there's all kinds of city-owned land that they can negotiate with for
Something to
that.
think
It's
about,
not,
though, because if this water thing becomes
We
an
already
issue.
have parking issues. So
I-
where are we gonna allow somebody to park?
We didn't have parking issues until Chase had a bunch of tenants
Well,
move in.
but
That's
that
a
is
totally
what it
separate
is.
issue. No, it can change and it can be better. It's not, those houses really weren't intended for that type of business. I did not know that there was a
Well-
business code that the city had. And I don't know how that applies to a PUD because we're private development. So we get to choose what we do with it, but I don't know how that goes. Do they get to overstep? As a PUD, privately, they can do what they want, outside of the city code for businesses that need to be ran a certain way and.
I don't know that I
ordinances.
want to have a bunch of.
I don't really
strangers
want, yeah,
It's
And
a-
it's right by
a
your home
strange-
too.
Well, no, I mean, those homes are just a strange situation.
But,
have
but everybody's gonna be coming right by you and you'll have traffic in and out of.
I'm not
right
saying we
there.
should do it. I just brought it up as an idea. I
Yeah.
just know that if we have issues with the city in the future because of the water, because of the impact fees that are going up and because of the lack of
We won't-
structure.
impact fees will not affect us because we're already built.
Good.
It
Okay,
is only from new construction.
cool.
So that won't affect us.
Yeah.
We've got somebody looking into actually getting us a lower water rate. And I think if we make some of these steps of looking at replacing all of the non-park grass with stone and killing that tree, that's gonna have a significant impact, because we're using 254,000 gallons of water. That's what our last water usage was, which is down from 549,000. And how much of that is going into the grass? It's gotta be a significant amount. It's $1,000 cheaper in the wintertime when we're not watering the grass than it is when we're watering the grass. So if that puts it in perspective,
We still have the same amount of people that live there.
yep. So it's $1,000 a month we're paying to water grass.
Well, it's not just watering the grass, it's showers and everything.
No.
No. I'm saying the difference,
$1,000.
when we turn the watering of the grass off, our bill goes down $1,000.
Oh,
So we're paying $1,000 a month to water grass.
Okay.
We're paying
honestly-
more to water grass than we're paying for all of the residential culinary use of the water.
Yeah,
cutting back on. I mean, that honestly could pay in the summertime, pay for the rock.
It would pay for the rock very quickly.
that's $12,000. Oh, wait, okay,
No,
so
it's-
No, the months that we are watering, so May to August, September, yeah.
Maybe $6,000. So if we get our landscaping cost under that, to me, that's. a
Well, even
lot.
if we pay for it over 2-3 years,
We will still have
Yeah, but
an increase in the summer. Keeping the park because we're still watering the park.
yeah, And we need to check that leak out over there too, if there is one.
Is there a leak over there?
It seemed like there was a sink, like it was sinking in the mud over there when I was mowing.
Oh, man, if there's a leak, that could be a huge water bill.
Well, that's what we needed to get checked out, but it's winter time, so, you know, let's just focus on the snow removal now, and then when the snow quits, we'll have them, and the ground isn't frozen, they can look into that.
I didn't see it when I walked over there, but you were mowing kind of during the rainy this time
Like
too.
4 or 5 months ago.
The park has a water shut off for just the park, right?
It's, yeah, it's.
And it's shut off, so it wouldn't be
When
leaking
we
now.
seen it, we turned it off. So,
All right, so it wouldn't be leaking still. So that's what I want to do. I want to at least get Rocky Ridge out there to
give a bid.
get a bid on at least the
So
rock.
The park is actually on my same stop and waste. So everything that runs the area where I live, it also shoots over and does the park.
Oh,
So
that's good, because we were wondering if Chase, when we were talking about putting a separate meter on Chase's units, if he was gonna be paying to water the park, but if it's off yours, then he wouldn't have been. But still, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
recouped that cost. The cost was so much higher to put that meter in than it would have saved us. But for this, I think even in 2 years, we could pay for it just in the water
but
savings.
putting in rock, I think we need to address the whole sprinkler system anyway. Because we need to shut it off where there will be no more sprinklers. But there are some trees and stuff in the mold things in the front that can have a little bit of drip. I mean, that would be such a minimal,
So there's a pine tree that's over there when you come in on the east side of the complex.
there's a couple trees and there's a pine tree.
I think there's a couple, yeah. And then the only other.
Trevor has some
trees-
stuff in his.
Oh,
I've
in
got a
your
couple
front
things in
yards.
mine.
Yeah, in your front yards.
But running them off of a drip, it would be just eliminating everything except for, it really would not be a huge.
So some minimal sprinkler changes. Um,
And we can talk about that when it gets closer to time, but right now we're not.
Yeah, if Jason can just dig up kind of where the lines come out and cap them.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that's under the lawn is just capped off and gone.
Abandoned.
Yeah. I don't want to dig it all up.
Oh, no,
I
no,
get
no,
it stupid expensive,
no, that's, yeah,
but
I would, you could see the sprinkler heads. That honestly cap it off, and if it needed to be, which probably doesn't necessarily have to be.
we
You
can
can take
unscrew
the
the
head off
heads off,
and-
yeah. And then just fabric over it,
Yeah.
herbicide down and. The only issue that we could potentially run into if we do that is runoff issues.
With the drip system,
No, with replacing grass with rock.
runoff, like just when it rains and
When it
stuff.
rains and all,
That's why it needs to be done.
It needs to
properly
go,
so
yeah.
that the rock will absorb the water just like the lawn
We're
will.
just gonna get back into that cement issue again, because when you look at where the fence fell, and you look at the settling and the pavement issues, and where the water has not been running in the right places because it wasn't set up properly in the first place. It's just this is your capital plan, improvement plan.
Yep.
And so there's a whole lot of little things, one of those things in there, that's gonna be a part of that.
yeah, we've got to look at how that's gonna drain.
Cause I got to thinking, if we're gonna do something with the pavement. And the plumbing's all underneath it, cause this is what happens, that it breaks, right? So we have to break up the pavement and it's a huge expense to do it, and then we have to repair the pavement, right? So. The only way to do it is just break up the whole thing and do all the plumbing the way it should be, and then do the pavement on top of it. Cause now we know where everything's at and it's done
Well,
the
it
right
should be
way.
done that way anyway.
Yeah. But the problem is that's $150,000 project, and we don't have $150,000.
plan
So-
for that, because otherwise we're stuck in a place that wasn't done right in the first place, or there's been 30 years, even if it was done right in the first place, it hasn't been maintained properly.
Well, it wasn't done right in the first place because everything's settling. They didn't compress the soil properly.
We all live in these units, and so I don't know if you have the same issues that I do, but when I go to remodel or I do something and
There's not a
there's
square
no
wall in the
stud.
place. Yeah.
I want to put a safety handle in, and there's a stud over here and one way over here, and it's just all off.
Well,
scale.
like Ashley's downspout,
Downspout.
what she doesn't realize is that is stucco on top of chicken wire, on top of styrofoam, on top of particle board.
Yeah,
There's nothing that's gonna hold an anchor and
We were thinking that it was close to the edge of the garage and that there had to be some sort of corner.
but
set there.
it's got chicken wire and
You gotta
styrofoam.
get to
I know because I put up a flagpole holder 4 times and they've ripped out each time.
Yeah.
And that's what's behind it.
Yeah.
There's no stud back there anywhere.
Right. yeah.
It's the construction was not of the highest quality. And the drywall inside is the thinnest stuff I've ever seen.
It's-
I've had anchors pull right out of the drywall, just,
And we put the new shower in the master, and we had to build in some studs in
Yeah.
order to do the things that we want to do, like just to put a safety handle or a bench or anything that we're doing, we have to add studs.
yeah, if you want to put in a niche, you gotta do that too. I mean, that's pretty typical.
There are things that you can do as far as landscaping, putting rocks, the big areas of lawn. The one that is right on 300. The worst spot is right there as it comes into the parking lot. We build it up a little bit, even with some rock or whatever.
Right.
You
And I'd like to
run
get
some
Rocky
lines,
Ridge to give us a couple prices on some boulders to
right,
kind of just break up
make it
the,
look nice.
yeah,
But we could put a pipe that directs the water out onto the road.
Yeah.
Same thing on 400 South, that big area of lawn. You can kind of sink it like a shower,
Yeah.
put it in a
well,
couple
you'd have to
spots,
raise the end by the houses and point, yeah.
And then it, there's ways that it can be done. that
The
wouldn't be
problem is our
horrible.
camber, the camber of our roads is so severe. Which is why you bottom out your car every time you go into any parking lot in this town, because the camber is like this. They've built the center up so high. And so if you push water out, it's not gonna go up over that camber. And
No,
if
it's
it doesn't
gonna
have a
have
slope,
something
it's not gonna,
that we can drain it right into the park.
not from that end.
There. I think, even going under the sidewalk. And
Yeah, we could go
and-
under the sidewalk.
If we had to replace.
I was thinking of
chunk
going
of
on
the
top
curb. No, I.
and over the
put it on
sidewalk.
ground
Yeah,
And put it right into the gutter.
yeah, we could notch the sidewalk, lay pipe and then just fill with cement.
Go under the sidewalk, where, there's ways to just.
Yeah,
pour right
or
up.
water bore under.
Mhm.
Did you ever hear back on anything on those curbs?
I asked. I'm gonna ask him again. He said he's gonna come by and give us a price on all of
Okay.
that. I don't know.
Because I'd like to get that patched as well. If it's affordable.
Where is it?
Up top, kind of at the T.
Yeah.
Where that was cut out when that pipe broke.
Well, there were people parking there for a while. I mean, we don't really have parking issues. We don't. We have lots of parking spaces available. But the curbing up there is what you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
And then there's pavement.
to
missing.
replace the pavement, we've got to do the curbing first.
Oh,
And so she was gonna get a quote on the curbing,
okay.
and then we could have those guys come in and,
that.
yeah, but let's find out what the bid really is this time.
Yeah. Let's get in writing. I got his number, but and I called him and I asked him, and his excuse was just that the measurements that he got weren't the measurements that it was. So he doesn't come out and do his own measurements, and I don't even want to
He
go there.
lives in St.
I just-
George, and
Yeah,
you want it fixed because
It's
it
over
was-
with and
I
done,
was trying to do a favor for you. You get, like,
and we're grateful it got done.
so,
Yeah.
yes.
Because
I'm-
we.
And,
it's so
even at that price, that's not
hard to find people to get things done
unreasonable.
here, so-
so.
Yeah.
So we have no motions, we have no
so-
action items at all. I like it, quick, easy. Have a motion to adjourn. Do we have any other business?
next meeting, I guess.
Oh, yeah, we can set the next meeting. The last Wednesday would be. That doesn't show me the date on it. I set this up as a recurring Zoom meeting, but it didn't show me the date.
Let me look at the calendar here.
It
March, the last Wednesday, so there's a lot.
26th or something like that.
29th is the last Wednesday. 29th of March. And
Okay.
so there's a lot of weeks in March. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in March, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be here whether it's Easter or not, but I don't,
Easter's not until April,
okay,
Oh, there's the calendar.
so the
April
29th,
9th or something.
Yeah, 29th,
9th,
7 PM. That will be the last meeting here. Maybe not even here, because
at this location.
at that point,
right?
yeah, it'll be over there, but.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point, I might have this all torn apart and closing the studio down. Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye, we're out. Nobody joined us via Zoom.
Yeah, I get a lot of text messages from Rosalinda, and she asked me, does the HOA want me to replace my gate in my back fence? And I'm like,